You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. You look good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Not just here in the Quad Cities, but more importantly out at Deere Run. The John Deere Classic is officially underway. It's OTA at the JDC, and yes, we are at the Stonehouse. We are in Andrew Lehman's office for some crazy reason. He's allowed myself and my illustrious staff of 2 this year to be out here at Deere Run. We got a great show to get to. If you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. Make sure you subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Comment, like, that helps us out a ton. And then tell all your friends about what we do each and every day, 10 a.m. right here in the Quad Cities and everywhere in between. We're also live on X. X has been very good to us as well, so you can watch us on X, stay interactive, either via X or with our YouTube chat that's going on right now. Several everyday people on there, every day chatting it up. If you have questions for guests or comments or complaints, yes, I'm used to those as well. Hop on the chat as well. We're also streaming on the WHO Plus app in Central Iowa. We love our viewers in Central Iowa. Thank you guys. A lot to get to on today's show that you guys will love. And of course, you can listen to the show each and every day as well. I always encourage, you don't have to look at me. Nobody wants to look at me all the time. So if you want to listen, that's great as well. Anywhere you get your podcasts, whether it be iHeart, Podbean, Apple, Spotify, put it Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, and you can check out the show via podcast form every day as well. We have a great show to get to today. We're here in Andrew Lehman's office, the tournament director of the John Deere Classic. But before it was Andrew's office, it was Clair Peterson's office. We're going to have the former John Deere Classic tournament director joining us here in just a little bit, talking about a very important caddies program he started, plus his thoughts on this year's field, memories, the fact that he would say absolutely not if I wanted to do this show from his office, that and much more. Clair Peterson here in just a matter of moments. Yesterday, the Pro-Am featured Brad Underwood. He was really good. Had a great following as well. We'll show you that. We'll hear a little bit from Brad Underwood coming up in a matter of moments as well. If you know about the John Deere Classic or golf in the Quad Cities or just the Quad Cities in general, there's no better ambassador to all of that than Decker Ploehn. Decker is going to come out to the house and chat with us about memories. We got trivias for him as well. I'm going to challenge him to tell, I'm going to say the year, and he's going to tell me the champion, see how he does with that. So Decker Ploehn also on the show as well. The course looks great. There's a big change when it comes to the fourth hole. We have Alex Stuedemann in-house here in hour number 2 to talk about that as well, how the course is playing, how they're dealing with the weather, all the rain in June, and now the heat as we get ready to go in July. So great stuff from Alex Stuedemann coming up in a little bit as well. All of that, plus we'll check in with Craig DeVrieze up at the Media Center for the news and notes going on in the John Deere Classic. And as we mentioned, they're golfing underway. Some huge names already out there. Jordan Spieth at last check was 2 under through 7 holes. Max Home was out there as well. JT Poston playing well. He was 3 under early on in his round. The leader at last check was Lucas Glover, a former champion as well. He was at 5 under for the day. So a lot of great golfers out there as we speak. And if you're interested in coming out this afternoon, we'll give you some of those tee times and Pro-Am pairings in just a little bit. Really good golfers. Ricky Fowler goes off this afternoon. Some guy by the name of Zach Johnson tees off this afternoon as well. That and much more. So we'll get you caught up with all of those things as well. I want to start with what happened yesterday. Pro-Am was great. The big name at this year's Pro-Am, bringing a lot of Fighting Illini fans out as well. Brad Underwood teeing off at 116. It was about 97 degrees when he did. A good following of Illini fans watching. And I'll tell you this right now. I put on Facebook, he smoked it. I thought I heard somebody say 260-ish. I got feedback saying that was not a 260 swing. I'll tell you on 10, he crushed it. It was a fantastic shot. He was great with the fans, great with the media as well. Great to have Brad Underwood here. And right after he shot that one, he chatted with Celia Palermo going up 10. Let's take a listen.
Well, Coach, we know how strong of basketball teams you coach, but if you could describe your golf game, how would you?
Not near as consistent as my basketball team. Haven't played a lot. I grew up playing. I love the game. It's my form of relaxation, and just really starting to play a little bit. This is second or third round I've played all year, so nice to be out here, and my game will be a little inconsistent.
Your future son-in-law, Adrian Dumont Deschessart, plays on the PGA Tour. How often do you get to play with him? Obviously, he's a former Illini as well.
You know what? It's unique because I don't play with him a lot. I actually played with him Friday for the first time. I've watched him play hundreds, but after the beatdown I took on Friday playing with him, I don't think I'm going to play very much with him. So, no, a great young man, excited for what his career has taken off and turning into, and very happy to have him coming into our family here in September.
Well, hopefully Friday's a good indication of his week here. Obviously, last year's champion Brian Campbell is also a former Illini. If you had one message for all the Illini in the field, what would you say?
Yeah, go get them. You've got a lot of fans out here supporting you and pulling for you, and you're in the state. You got one of the great golf programs that Mike Small runs at the University of Illinois, and it's really cool to take a picture with so many of the great ones, and a lot of Big Ten championships in there, and hope they can carry that over there.
So Celia Palermo talking with Brad Underwood on 10 yesterday. Celia, of course, former co-worker of mine. I'm out here working for the John Deere Classic this week as well, doing great stuff on social media. Check out all of the John Deere Classic social media throughout the week on Instagram, X, Facebook. They're doing a fantastic job. Celia doing a fantastic job as well. We mentioned a lot of big names out here on the course today. We'll continue to update you on the leaderboard as we get rolling here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, but really excited to welcome my next guest. And it's somebody who knows this room pretty well when it comes to maybe an office or two. Clair Peterson joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Be honest with me, young man. If I came to you and said, hey, I got an idea. I want to do my show from your office 3 years ago, 4 years. How long has it been?
This is my fourth year retired.
So let's go back 5 years. Clair, I'm doing
Absolutely not.
And it would have sounded just like that.
And if they would have said, hey, let's have some concerts on the 18th fairway. No way.
See, he's just
so everything's better after I left.
Clair Peterson joining us right now. But if Wheezy would have asked, what would you have said?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
He's my hero.
It's amazing.
He's my hero.
It's amazing how that happens.
He got shots that still live.
When you look around this office, there's a Bears helmet up there.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay for you, is it?
Number one, had I known that this office had the potential that Andrew has, totally redone, it's beautiful, I might not have retired because it's wonderful, except for the fact that he tore down every Packer piece of memorabilia that I had and replaced it with either Bears or Cubs stuff. So it would have been a tough decision. I probably still would have left because I couldn't look at the Bears stuff very long.
I got a lot to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about the Caddies program that you're working with. I want to talk about this field, but I want to start with and not just the office, but Andrew. And we mentioned, we kind of joked that, your first year not as a tournament director, you kind of stayed away. Mm-hmm. You volunteered, you're back around, you're doing certain things. From the outside looking in and watching maybe your protege, if that's the right word for it, your thoughts on how Andrew has maybe didn't agree with everything as he did it, but your thoughts on how he's done.
I'm so glad you asked that question because I think you guys are aware that this is Andrew's 20th year with the tournament. So I retired after 20 years. So he started as an intern in 2006
under Decker Ploehn. He said his first year he was...
No, Decker's volunteer chair year was 08, but he might have been his first year on the board. Decker likes to take credit for a lot of stuff.
Anyways, go ahead.
He could address that later. But, Andrew, every assignment we rewrote or actually wrote from scratch a job description so he could stay with us. And everything that we had him do, over those 15 years or so, he nailed it. He killed it. And he became well-known in the golf industry. When it came time for me, and it was certainly time, to retire, there was some discussion, rightfully so, as a board member that they might want to do a national search. Maybe we ought to look around and see which candidates are out there. There's 46 other PGA Tour events. But in my heart and my feeling was that we had the right guy here. And we obviously do have the right guy here, and he's proved it.
Yeah.
Time after time after time now for the last 4 years.
You look at it, and we joke about like the concerts, and you're not the only one that was like, just your thoughts on some of the things. Obviously, you're not second guessing, but you probably wouldn't have done the concert thing.
Well, I wouldn't have had a choice. Deere was, and in retrospect, it was such a great decision. They were sold on the idea, and they pulled it off. My concerns were around weather delays and whether or not at 5 o'clock on a Saturday or Sunday you'd be able to get it in. But it has added such a new level of excitement, brought all kinds of new people on the property that might not have ever been here before. They're here as music fans, but come to find out that watching golf tournaments, fantastic. I watched Andrew and the staff last year dodge a serious weather situation and still get the concert in. So it's been a slam dunk success, and that's why you need new ideas, and that's what he's brought to it. That's what Deere's brought to it. We had our challenges over my 20-year span. We had to find a way to get guys to the British Open, as an example. But you've got to think creatively, and you got to do new things. And I probably would have resisted the concert idea, but in retrospect, it was such a slam dunk success.
Full disclosure, Andrew came in to work at his desk when he was saying nice stuff. He's gone now. What do you really think of the guy? No? All right, you're still going to stick with the good stuff?
I am. We never made eye contact when he came in.
When you, the building, and then this place, because obviously the office is one thing, but this house, and some people are different, some people have changed, some people are probably the same. But it's crazy to be here, and I know it was the same with you, but they say the stone house, it's cliche, but it's a home. Like everyone here gets along. Now I'm only here for a week, so I'm sure there's not always kumbaya, but talk about your years here, because you become close with the people that are here, and it's not this huge staff of dozens or hundreds of people. It's a pretty tight unit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really good observation. This building was a house, and it has that feel. There's only 7 staff members, so everyone's got their own little spot that they kind of own, but the interaction that happens over the course of each week, all 52 weeks of the year, is really something special. And it's behind the scenes stuff. It's the jokes. It's in this office that we're sitting in. Michaela Booth and John Walter had a hot dog eating contest about a year ago.
Really?
Just because there was some idle chatter about, I think I could eat, like 10 hot dogs. And there was, some discussion about whether or not that was possible or not. And Michaela took him down.
I bet Michaela's thrilled that you brought that story up. She probably is.
She probably is. If she isn't, I apologize. But those are the kinds of things that everyone here cherishes. Yeah. And quite honestly, the group here now, and over my 20 years, there was, a lot of churn. Andrew got his job because Liz Housengay quit on Monday after tournament week that year in 2006, and that opened up the opportunity. But the group that's here right now, they are a family. Yeah. They love each other. They work wonderfully together. You can see it in the product that they produce.
It's maybe a weird question. What do you miss the most, and what do you don't miss?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot. It's what I just described. The family.
Sure.
That I don't get to spend as much time with. Although they're really generous and let me pop in every once in a while, and we have some fun. What I don't miss is a lot of people don't understand the stresses involved in this. They see tournament week, hanging out with the pros national telecast, but it's a job that has so many constituents that you're trying to keep happy. You can't keep everybody happy, but if you think of it as a pyramid. And let's just start. You've got your 7 staff members, then you got, and they're great, and then you got 35 board members who are great, but there's a churn there and personalities come and go. You have to make sure that you listen to them and make them happy. Then you've got 125 or so committee chairs who, in many cases, have been doing this longer than you have.
Yeah.
So they have their ideas, and you have to have positive relationships and keep them happy. The 2,000 volunteers that they, manage, they all have opinions. They're walking around with no hesitation to tell you what they're thinking. Then you go over to the John Deere side, the title sponsor side. Without that positive relationship, the tournament doesn't exist. So there's all kinds of considerations there. Then you got the PGA Tour, and they have obviously their own ideas about your product and how you should be doing it. Then you've got all the players, and then you've got all the caddies, and then you've got
The media
all the
dealer.
agents. Then you got all the media. Then you have all the sponsorships. So it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining, and Andrew would never complain, but it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just 1 week a year, like I always give Andrew a hard time for. Clair Peterson joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Claire, a couple Fridays ago, or last Friday, I should say. That's a good. I remember coming out here, and I'm talking Dan Burge time, where he'd like, hey, get out to the course on a Friday because the deadline. We'll find out. And you probably had some good ones back in your day. It had felt like it'd been a little while when we had a Friday like that. But like we hear Jordan Spieth and like almost buried in the Bridgman commits, Keegan Bradley commits, Daniel Berger commits, 4 top 50s. I guess your thoughts on that Friday for Andrew, and then can you go back to, he told me like getting the text message and what was it like and the celebrations, and you've had those as well, I'm sure, over the years, right?
I told Andrew that I don't ever remember having a Friday like we just had here. How exciting. It was always, meet with the media on Friday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I don't ever remember having, at that point, such exciting news. You might find out, a day or a week before, because players, depending on how they're doing, how they're playing, where they sit in the FedEx Cup, if they're trying to get on the Ryder Cup team, might make last-minute decisions. But this last Friday is exciting. A group of players to be added to the field that I can remember, which to me makes the field the best one we've ever had. I can't ever remember a year that has this strong and exciting a field.
You look at, did you ever? I mean, you've gotten the Jordan Spieth phone calls. And probably 2015 was crazy. I'm assuming. I think maybe golfing with you on a media day or whatever, we've had these conversations. But do you have a moment like he's like Andrew said to me? He's like, it's 3:15 or whatever. I get the text that, hey, we're coming. Do you have a moment like that? Maybe not on a Friday, but just in general.
I do. My moment would have been, it's not on a Friday, but to your point, 2015, and obviously Jordan is a favorite son here, and after winning in 2013 and 2015, now he's won the Masters and the U.S. Open. We're the week before the British Open, and there's no way that he's coming here, but we're still talking to him. He's still considering it. Everyone in the golf world is saying you'd be crazy to go to the John Deere. No one since Ben Hogan has won those 3 events in 1 year. And I'm just watching the U.S. Open, conflicted, going, if he loses, maybe we have a chance.
Yeah.
If he wins, I mean, I can't imagine that we're going to come out on the positive end of this. Literally, he finishes, and Dustin Johnson doesn't sink the putt on the 72nd hole, so Jordan has won. And I'm just kind of thinking, all right, literally in 10 minutes I get a text from his agent saying we need 3 seats on the jet. And I get goosebumps talking about it now. And then to have him come here and win in a playoff and go to the British Open along with our other favorite son, Zach Johnson, finish one stroke out of the playoff that Zach Johnson winds up winning, just completely silenced all the doubters about whether or not you could come here and take the jet, our jet, and still be competitive.
Yeah.
So that's my moment as far as a strength of field situation that I'll never forget.
He comes in 2015, and I kind of joked with people. He almost gave the field a Thursday. He wasn't good on Thursday. And then he goes on and he wins the John Deere Classic. Clair Peterson joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. I want to, since we're going down memory lane, I always go to 2013. And you won't remember this because your head was going crazy in a million different directions, but here we are getting ready for a 3-person playoff. And everybody's a buzz, and we the playoff hits, and I see you down on 18, and I jokingly say to you, because it's David Hearn, Zach Johnson, and some young kid named Jordan Spieth, and I said, I can tell you who you're not rooting for, and you just laughed. And no offense to David Hearn, but like going back to those memories, and I remember the 17, and we talk about the 4 or 5-ish put, for a while there, and they say magic happens, but things went our way, and you go back in revisionist history, and if a putt's made here or there, things are a little different. Your thoughts and remembrance of 2013?
Yeah, those are 4-foot 10-inch putt by David Hearn on the 17th hole. We've talked about this before, and my feeling, and I think history would support it, and I give a lot of credit to D.A. Wybring for the finishing 5 holes from the 14th hole on, and especially the 18th hole. And the 18th hole comes into play when you're in a playoff. It requires you to execute some demanding shots, and the cream kind of rises to the top. Not to say David Hearn couldn't have sunk that 4-foot 10-inch putt, but it just golf is so pressure packed. And I mean, in 2015, Tom Gillis is in the playoff with Jordan Spieth. Tom Gillis is caddying right now.
2 gloves, right?
No.
Was that
no, that's Tommy Gainey.
Okay, my bad.
Tom Gillis.
Yeah.
So, the guys that, in 08, Kenny Perry comes out of the playoff. Brad Adamonis and Jay Williamson. So it demands you to execute shots. I will say in the 2013 playoff, it looked like Zach won on the first playoff hole and I was standing right behind the green. Maybe we had just chatted 15 minutes before, and Zach hit a beautiful chip that looked like it was going in and
He
rattled off.
Laid on the ground.
Off the flag.
God, and he's going for repeat.
And that would have been 2 in a row.
Oh.
And and we're coming off 3 in a row. 9, 10, 11.
Yep.
With Stricker. So, golf's a crazy game. But I do think that in those situations, the players that have maybe a stronger resume sometimes hit the shots that are required.
It's funny. I'm going even back further, but I'll go 2011 where I'd never really heard, and not like people were cheering against Kyle Stanley, but that was the first time on a course when he missed that putt on 18 where like there was a smattering of like, because like we won. I remember, and you'll know, like the 19th hole, we have bumps going in and out of every segment of the history of Jordan Spieth, the 3-peat, because it was like it was done, and then all of a sudden comes Kyle Stanley, and then those memories, and obviously the putt and everything. We could go down memory this year. Let's move to this year. You talked about it, and I've been saying arguably it's the best field, and maybe it's not even arguably, maybe it is. What stands out to you with this field when it comes to just being a golf fan? What intrigues you? What stands out the most?
I think it's the mix of both the veterans that we've talked some about already and the young players. Andrew's done a fantastic job of continuing the tradition of sponsor exemptions and helping young people launch their careers. The Jackson Coiven story is very compelling. He was here as a sponsor exemption that Andrew gave, and now he's back here, his first pro event. He's 18 or 19 years old. He could do what Jordan did in 2013. Blades Brown, I think is a really exciting
18?
story. Yeah, 17 or 18.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mason Howell, the U.S. amateur champion. I saw Luke Clanton yesterday just standing by the putting green. This guy's an athlete.
Oh.
This guy's an
Last
athlete.
year, there
and
was
he
a lot of
finished
people who liked
fourth
him.
a couple years
yeah.
ago. So you've got, and I'm not naming everyone there. Apologize for, skipping over some guys maybe. But then you have, veterans that if they win, it's going to be a great story. Obviously, Jordan would be a great story. Max Home would be a great story. Ricky Fowler would be a great story. Zach Johnson, he knows his course
Are you
really
surprised
well.
Zach's here?
I'm not.
I'm not either, but that was obviously a
just
question going into the
listening
week.
to his media interview. He described his thought process and the fact that the U.S. Senior Open, he's just turned 50. There'll be plenty of those still to come. He's got an unbelievable history here. I forget how many under par, for an 8-year period or something he was, including the years he won and was in the playoff and everything else. So why not, The other thing that has kind of come to light to me, which I don't think we should ignore, we talk about all these retrospectives and everything else. Steve Stricker, the 3 years, 9, 10, and 11, and the way he, pulled off those wins. We talked a little bit about 2011. Are, embedded in John Deere Classic history, and the fact that Jordan's back this year resurrects all those Jordan memories, but the Stricker memories are fantastic.
What year did Goidos shoot a 59 and then quietly see? Was that 11? Was he going
10?
10? And shoots a 59 and quietly you're like, we're hustling, like the media's like, that's our top story. We have a lead. We don't have to wait. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, Strick's going to shoot a 60.
Yeah.
So just those kind of
Goidos shoots a 59. He's got a one-stroke lead.
Yeah.
Going. The other part of that year, I don't know if anyone will remember. I remember in the media center, Goidos, his nickname was Sunshine. He always found something to complain about. That was the day that LeBron James announced that they were going to Miami. So the whole sports, world was talking about Lebron James.
And Goidos
is going, just my luck. I shoot a 59, and I don't even get a mention.
I love it.
On ESPN.
I love it. Clair Peterson joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. You were out here yesterday, a caddying program, kids caddying program. Kind of talk to us, one, how you've gotten involved with that, and then we'll talk about yesterday a little bit.
I appreciate you bringing that up. Caddying changed my life. I started caddying when I lived in Milwaukee at Blue Mountain Country Club. We moved here when I was 15, and I caddied at Davenport Country Club. And that experience of being exposed to the adult world, knowing how to behave, seeing mentors that you want to emulate, making a little bit money at a time when the only other thing you could do is maybe have a paper route or something, which doesn't exist anymore. Although I still get a paper.
Kids
I still get a paper.
Yeah.
So the compelling part of trying to resurrect the caddy program here in the Quad Cities came 3 years ago, when the Western Golf Association added an Evans Scholar House at the University of Iowa. And no one knows about this around here, but there are 27 universities across the country and 1,100 kids right now who are getting full ride scholarships, 4-year scholarships, room, board, everything, if they do 3 things. Have the number of loops, the number of caddy jobs that help them qualify, and that's about 50 per year.
Okay.
Good grades, and a financial need based on your family. And if they get a scholarship, they now at the University of Iowa, there's 32 kids there right now, get again this full ride.
Wow.
So there were no caddy programs anymore in the Quad Cities. And Davenport Country Club, obviously in Iowa. Now you have a University of Iowa Evans Scholar House. We need to resurrect this thing. So we've identified a number of really hardworking young people, both young boys and girls, 8th, 9th, 10th graders, who are working out there. The membership, is getting used to, again, taking caddies. in order to get that check mark, get these kids enough loops. And we have an opportunity, I think, to change some young people's lives. So
That's awesome.
yesterday, there were 6 of our kids from Davenport Country Club out here caddying for amateurs in the Pro-Am. And
Very cool.
Yeah, and it's an exciting, when one of those young people get a scholarship, I'll come back to you and
Yes.
we can do a story on it.
Absolutely. I'd love to have them on.
It's life-changing.
100%.
And the other thing, the people
I got
that
4 kids. I want to get my kids involved in this.
get them over to DCC.
You don't want any Randazzos running around DCC.
Yeah,
It's a nice place.
I like your kids. Sam Allen, the CEO of Deere, retired CEO, went to college on an Evans scholarship.
Wow.
It changes people's
Yeah.
lives. There are a couple other people in town here, Tim Conrad and Matt Blaylock. I was a caddy that didn't get the scholarship, but it changed my life.
Probably
too.
the good grades part.
There are a lot of reasons. The fact that I moved was one of them.
Yeah.
But it's life changing, and it's great, and it's so being able to have that opportunity for kids again here in the Quad Cities. It doesn't have to be on the Iowa side, but the University of Iowa is the closest. There's, like I say, there's 27
How can
colleges.
people find out more about it?
I would.
Call Clair. I'll put his phone number in the comments below. No, I'm just kidding.
You can learn about the Evans Scholar Program just by Googling
Yeah.
it. And it all revolves around Chick Evans. Nobody remembers this guy in 2016 won the U.S. Amateur and the U.S. Open as an amateur before Bobby Jones ever did it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So he wanted to keep his amateur status, couldn't accept money, and he got money for doing these teaching videos and books. And his mother suggested, because he was a caddy, why don't you start like a scholarship program?
Wow.
And so it's been going on. It's actually started in 1930.
Wow.
But anyway, no one knows about it, but that's what we're working on.
Best kept
here at
secret in
DCC.
town.
It's
That's
pretty
very
cool.
Yeah,
It's
no,
really
absolutely.
cool.
Claire
Yeah.
Peterson joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. 2 more things. I want to get a pick from you. And then you never could give me a pick before, like when I asked, because like obviously you can't. But now I'm gonna get one from you. But before that, obviously the PGA Tour last couple weeks, things are changing. I don't know if it brought up more questions than answers. I think with the press conference last week when it comes to what happens with the John Deere Classic in 2028. We know there's an agreement from through 2030. I guess I don't. You can't give me answers on what's going to happen because you don't know. But if you were the tournament director, what would your thoughts be right now, or what mindset might you have when it comes to the uncertain future on how things will look here golf-wise in the Quad Cities?
Yeah, great question. And Andrew and I have talked about it. Obviously, too early to jump to too many assumptions or conclusions. Everything that I've experienced and he's experienced with the PGA Tour as they make changes revolves around adjustments. When they first introduced the FedEx Cup in 06, 07, they adjusted that thing 50 times every year almost. The signature events, which they just announced after the Live threat came to be, that whole thing got adjusted many times. So what has been announced versus what might be in place in 2028 is still, I think, in process. The one thing I will say, it wasn't that long ago, and people panic. A month ago, people were going, "Oh my gosh, there's a story, the John Deere Classic. It's going to go to Chicago." Well, that got quelled in about a week. That story was, in fact, it was almost retracted. The guy that wrote the story goes, "Listen, I don't think I reported it correctly." Deere responded, no one's ever talked to us. No one in Brian Rolap's rollout ever talked about events disappearing anymore. It's just either tier 1, tier 2. So staying here, and quite honestly, the benefits of this tournament go past the strength of field. The $200 million that have been raised for charity only exist if there's something here that ties into the revenue generating formula that is now in place. It's up to John Deere obviously to decide. Maybe they'll be asked, maybe they won't. I don't know whether or not tier 1, tier 2. You've got to, they say, as a sponsor, commit $30 million to be a tier 1 event. And that's a lot of money. But again, to the strength of field here, we talked about all the young players that are in the field this week. We've seen players over the years that we haven't seen come back, but were certainly exciting when they were here.
Yeah.
John Rahm was here.
Yep.
You know,
Victor
Hovland was
the odds-on
here.
favorite.
Colin Morikawa was here. A lot of people forget Wyndham Clark was a sponsor exemption, you know, and seeing them early in their careers is still exciting.
Yep.
And watching them navigate their way around the golf course is still exciting. So I don't know. My feeling is I think the tournament is in a great spot. PGA Tour, you know, respects the John Deere sponsorship. It's got some depth to it. Mm-hmm. You've got a piece of property here that is fantastic. There's John Deere equipment on every TPC course, which is, you know, a nice piece of business for Deere and, you know, a nice deal for the PGA Tour. So it's harder to unbundle this whole thing than it would be, you know, other title sponsorships don't have the depth.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I always tell people, relax. This isn't the first time where questions have come up about what golf's going to look like, especially talking to a guy who did it for 20 years. I'm sure there's times like that as well. All right. No money will be changing hands, but if you had to, on Sunday, when we crown a John Deere Classic champion, give me your thoughts on who wins this thing.
They've already started playing.
Yeah, and it's been a bad start for Ben Griffin.
Yeah,
too.
Although it probably wouldn't have been my pick.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I am going to go with my last champion, 2022. JT Poston.
That's a great pick.
Who just won the Memorial.
He's
playing great. Obviously has played well here. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the guy. There's something about the Jackson Koiven story that's intriguing. He finished 11th as a sponsor exemption. And, you know, just the magic happens here, part of it, kind of a renewal of that Jordan Spieth 19-year-old story. That would be kind of fun.
It's funny, and we can go through stories forever, but obviously Jordan winning here a third time. What 3-time winners are Strick? Who are they? Strick, TA, Frost?
No, Frost only won twice, back to back. Those are only two, DA and
so to
Stricker.
become a 3-time.
Yeah, now Stricker did it 3
winner.
consecutive.
Yeah.
DA spread his out, but yeah, those are my picks.
Yeah, I love it. So everyone run as fast as you can and go watch JT Poston shoot a 59 later. Actually, he's out there right now, I believe. So, Claire, I appreciate this.
Hey,
don't
Matt.
do anything. Take the Bears helmet when you go. That's one thing that Claire and I agree on is he's a Packers fan, I'm a Lions fan. We both don't like the Bears, so that works for us.
Hey, if I weren't a Packer fan, I mean, I grew up in Milwaukee. You know, I could root for the Bears or the Lions.
Oh yeah, don't make
me root for the Dallas Cowboys.
He's been very nice to me. He's very, very like it was like almost pity text messages. But when they did well, you're like, good for you, you're doing it. So yeah, it's like a kid walking or whatever. So
a participation ribbon.
Claire, I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah,
thanks so much.
Matt.
We got a lot more to get to. Speaking of people that know a lot about the John Deere Classic, we're gonna go from Clair Peterson to Decker Ploehn. If that's not a show for you, I don't know what is. We got that much more. You're watching OTA. It's a Thursday out here at the John Deere Classic as I reach over to get the commercial break rolling. We'll be back right after this. For over 65 years, Lindquist Ford has proudly served the Quad Cities. And they're just getting started. Looking for a new ride? Check out a healthy mix of new and quality pre-owned vehicles ready for you. Need service? Skip the waiting room. With free pickup and delivery and mobile service, they come to you. No delays, no hassle. From routine maintenance to a full-service collision repair shop, it's fast, friendly, reliable, and always transparent. Lindquist Ford, serving the Quad Cities since 1959. Experience the difference today.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day, and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood headlines an All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, Stripes, Summer Tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
Hey, I'm the Crawford guy.
Ooh, do you guys always speak at the same time?
Sorry, guys. I'll go first. You know, if you need help with your heating or air conditioning,
Or electrical.
or plumbing, Crawford Company can solve your problem.
But what about your problem?
What problem?
Do you not hear yourselves? Take it from me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Crawford is the comfort company.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Of course, we're not just in the Quad Cities. We are out at the John Deere Classic, and play is officially underway. 55th annual John Deere Classic. We do know the leader earlier in the afternoon when we started was Lucas Glover. I've had such a good time talking with Clair Peterson. I haven't looked at the leaderboard, but great crowds out here. We're out here at the Stonehouse, so the third tee box is right out the back window, watching that. Great crowds as people come through, and I believe Jordan Spieth about ready to come in on 2 right outside. We've lost Scott Weiss. He was in helping, and now he's outside watching Jordan Spieth golf. We talked with Clair Peterson. If you're just joining us, if you missed it, scroll back, check that out. But another person when it comes to, I guess, the Quad Cities, when it comes to golf in general and the John Deere Classic that people think of is my next guest, a familiar face in the Quad Cities and back on OTA for the second straight year. So joining us now, a familiar face in the Quad Cities and, of course, out here at the John Deere Classic, Decker Ploehn, back for year number 2 out here on the show. You loved it so much last year you had to come back and do it again?
You know, I love the appearance fee, and I thought there was a good shot at.
Is my wife sending you money again?
Well,
I specifically told her to stop sending Decker money.
Well, it's actually cans, nickel, Iowa nickel cans, but you know they add up.
You got to
add up.
You got to love it. This year 30 involved with golf here in the Quad Cities. For
Yeah.
When you hear that number, what do you think?
Because I'm 74, that number doesn't mean anything to me. It's like it's just another year and another assignment, and but it's been great fun. All of it's been great fun.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk. I want to talk about the past. I want to talk about the present. I think we're going to start with the present because it's a great year for golf in the Quad Cities. The field, I think, take arguably out of it. I think it's the best field we've had. When you look at the field, what comes to your mind? You've seen a lot of great golfers, some familiar names on this year's list, obviously, as well. What comes to your mind as a golf fan when you look at this year's field?
No, it's a really strong field. Great young players, powerful players. You know, I had a chance to be with Chris Gotterup yesterday on the new fourth tee, and he hit one just short of that bunker, and he said, "I don't think I can get in that left bunker. It's 331 into the wind." Became pretty close.
Wow!
It's like whoa. Just so yeah, I think a lot of young talent out there and a couple of vets in there. I have kept a nice strong relationship with JT Poston. He and I have talked a little bit, and he's feeling good and he's playing well. So I think there's a healthy mix of age and young strong guys. So and Zach just coming off the victory in Des Moines. I mean, you can't throw him out.
Yeah,
he loves this golf course.
Yeah,
everybody loves him here.
I think that's the nice part is that there's so many different storylines, and there is every year. I'm not saying that there's not, but like you can look around and go like, man, I could come up with. We could sit here for a while and be like, what about this guy? Oh, that'd be great if this guy won. Jackson Quaven would be a great winner. You know, there's certain guys that you're like, and there's a bunch of them here in this year's field. The John Deere Classic in general, obviously, and we're not going to get into like what might happen in 2028 because there's more questions than answers. But you were the tournament chair 2008. If I would have told you in 2026 that this is what we have here in the Quad Cities, I don't know if it'd surprise you by any stretch because I know that you had confidence in what we were doing here in the Quad Cities. But we got 2 great concerts. We have a pro-am that involves a Final Four head basketball coach. We have one of the best fields in John Deere Classic history. If I would have told you in 2028 that 2008 that this would be what it would be right now, what would you have said?
I wouldn't have believed you. I was not a fan of the concerts on the course when they first announced it, I was
because?
like, what are we, a golf tournament or are we a concert venue?
Yeah.
And what happens if it rains? And what happens if we get rain delay? And what happens if on Sunday we get a playoff? You know, all that stuff enters into my brain. Because, you know, as a city administrator, former cop, you think about all that stuff and you go, okay, what's our contingency for this?
Yeah.
What's our contingency for that? But, you know, I was wrong. It's been famously successful, and a great draw, and continued. I think the continued improvement of the continued excellence of the experience that we provide, not only for the players but for the community. It's pretty cool.
You watched and this is just because of what you brought up. You watched the changeover, the turnover from Clair to Andrew, and obviously they did it together for that year to kind of have that smooth transition. I always look at people and you'll have a friend that, you know, maybe takes over a business from their parents, and I know this isn't the same, but they just maintain. Andrew hit the ground running. Your thoughts on just that transition? Clair is a legend. We're sitting in his old office. We're sitting in Andrew's office now, and we got to say nice things about both of them, and we'll get evicted. I don't want to get evicted, but just that transformation, and watching Andrew from being an intern to now year 20 of him here at the John Deere Classic.
His first year, that was the year I was in operations, I think. So he was kind of assigned to me. So
God bless, and he stayed.
And he stayed. You know, I think what's very cool about it, because I'm very close to both of them, is that Clair mentored Andrew, and it naturally evolved that he was going to be the guy. And that was kind of Clair's plan. So he saw it, identified it, relished it, and nurtured it. And it's as if he's never was here, or it's as if he'll never be gone. There's so much alike, yet there's so much apart or different. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. You look at those two. What's the biggest difference between the two? I'll tell you mine. Clair would have said, absolutely not. You're not bringing all this crap into my office.
Yeah, that's right.
Andrew said, yeah, why not?
Yeah, a
lot of similarities.
Well, very similar in lots of, but I'd say Andrew's much more of a risk taker than Clair would have been.
Yeah.
But Clair was always so practical, and predictable. And that, you know, he was steady that way. Andrew's willing to take a risk or two, and you got to have both. If you can do it in your personalities, but both of them have been exceptional for our tournament and for this event.
Yeah. Decker Ploehn joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Decker, you look at this, just your story going through it, and we kind of talked before we started of how you got involved with, and you have a passion and a love for golf. How is your golf game?
It's okay. Not as good as I'd like it to be, but it's okay.
All right.
I was much better 10 or 15 years ago, but I don't put much time into it either.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do that, but I actually have a great trip coming up to Big Cedar Lodge with my son.
Oh, very cool.
The following week, and then another trip with Clair out to Middle Nebraska.
Clair's good.
He's really good.
That's what happens when you retire,
He's
Decker.
really good.
Like, that's what he does.
I played with him last week, and it's like, whew. He's gotten even better.
We played Media Day last year together, and he was something.
Yeah.
He was something. But you have a passion for golf.
Yeah. My father was a really strong golfer and had played with Jack Fleck in town, and my dad was going to turn pro in 1951 when I was born.
Oh.
So I kind of screwed up those plans.
Yeah, you've been screwing up a lot of stuff since.
He was yeah, that's right. He was a good player, and we all grew up playing golf. I'm the oldest of 10, and almost all of us play golf, and my kids play golf, and they're good players. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Your journey through the John Deere Classic, and it started as a police officer helping out, and then obviously you get a chance. You told me you hosted a golfer that turned into doing much more. Your journey through this thing, because I don't know if you didn't set out one day and say, I want to be, volunteer chair but take me through how it all happened.
Yeah, like a lot of things in life, you reap what you sow in terms of the relationships. And I just was a passionate volunteer for the tournament. And then got lucky enough to get asked to go to the board. Loved that experience, and then got lucky enough to be asked to come to the executive board. Loved that experience, and then, lo and behold, your chair. But I'm back doing what I did the first couple of years in player services, and I've been in player services ever since probably 2009. So I'm attached to the clubhouse, and Clair used to call me his SEAL Team 1. I was the only one. But I can handle, because of my background, lots of little issues.
Yeah.
And I have lots of connectivity in the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
And so I'm now, Tammy Powell's is our player services chair. But I'm attached to player services and just do what Tammy tells me to do, or what comes up naturally. And, I get to do just lots of cool things, and I'm around the players the entire time.
And this is probably a loaded question. I think if I asked it to you last year, you probably told a story or two, but you probably have seen some interesting stuff. You've probably been part of, because you're back there with the players. Do you have any stories that aren't going to get you arrested or in trouble, or anyone else?
A couple of, I think the one that was coolest was when Sean O'Hare won, and he didn't have a passport, and needed to head to the British Open because he won the spot.
Yeah.
And myself and John Ward together got a hold of the White House that evening.
Hold on. You can't just say that and not explain. How did you just get a hold of the White House?
Well, we knew we had to connect there.
How do you have connects with the White House?
Well, we knew somebody. It was Brian Hook, who's from the Quad Cities. Brian was in the White House.
You are connected, aren't you?
So we
worried.
actually called Brian, and Brian helped us get the passport arranged for Sean O'Hare, and that was pretty cool.
No, that's outstanding. You get to know these guys. You mentioned you develop a good relationship, rapport with JT Poston. That's not the only one. Take me through some of your favorites, some of the good guys that you've gotten to know and probably still are friends with today.
Well, Strick, actually, we're pretty close friends with Lauren Roberts, who lives in Memphis and is retired from the Champions Tour. We used to go regularly up to see him after he left this tour and was up there, but we have a Memphis friendship, a Memphis connection that was the same connection for David Gossett, great friend of mine, Roger Cole. And we've been introduced to various people through Roger and then made our own relationships. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We've had a number of players and caddies stay with us over the years.
Give me a top 3 favorite players because of the John Deere Classic.
Oof. Well, I have to say Kenny Perry because I gave him the trophy.
But he's a good guy.
Great guy.
Yeah. It's an easy one.
Stricker, of course, and Zach. We've developed a nice friendship, because he was on the board and I stayed on the board for a while. But there's lots of guys and then caddies. I just got a note from Cam Davis's caddy, Andrew Shuden from Australia. Graham Courts, who is Australian, and back in Australia was Lauren's caddy. Every time Graham was come through the Midwest, comes and stays with us on his way to or from somewhere. We call him America's guest. He's a great guy.
Have golfers changed over the years? And if so, how?
I
Good
don't
question,
know.
isn't it?
Yeah. Probably they're not as sophisticated today because they don't have the same experiences. They're so much younger, and there's competitive right out of college. That typically wasn't the case. Guys were journeymen. They were out there for lots of years. There wasn't necessarily a Corn Ferry back then, so competition was maybe stronger, but there was no other venues. Maybe some mini tours, but lot more young guys out here, I think, because kind of like the NHL, when you had the original 6, nobody could really break in.
Yeah.
Now you got 32 teams, or whatever the number is, and the talent is from all over the world. There's talent here from all over the world.
Yeah.
How many foreign players are in our field? It's crazy.
We talked good guys. Don't get in trouble. But I don't know. Honestly, most of them are really good guys. You'll have a bad experience because I'm the idiot afterwards that would be like, oh, we got to talk to this guy and he just double bogeyed 18 or something like that, and we're throwing a microphone his way. And any golfer, any person, if they have a bad day at the office, doesn't want to have to talk about it. Have you seen those type of experiences, or are there bad eggs?
As in life, there are people that have different perspectives, and some people are more introverted than extroverted. Mm-hmm. Some people don't want to talk. Mm-hmm. Some people, they just want to go about their business, and you think, wow, you could at least say hi,
Yeah.
But that's not why they're here. Me saying hi to them is not going to be the highlight of their day.
Yeah.
So you just kind of roll with that punch. I don't know that it's good to say some people are. They're just different, and they're just like life.
Yeah, and you don't know what 100%. You don't know what people are going through, experiencing the mood they're in that day.
Yeah.
Believe it or not everyone thinks Decker's amazing. I'm sure most do.
I have some people that we've had nice conversations that end in the wrong direction.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah,
I don't believe it. I'm going to take you through some events over the years. I want you to tell me where you were, your perspective from these events that happened at the John Deere Classic.
Wow. Okay.
Michelle Wee's year.
Big year. I remember John Brendel, who was tour official then. John said, "You got yourself some Tiger crowds here.
And
these are big crowds."
Decker, we had an entire different media center.
Exactly. I think there was like 40 different more credentials than normal.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. And I remember because Mary Spranger and for God's sakes, a couple of other girls that were on the board had to kind of deal with Michelle in a different way, and they were having to kind of pamper that family in a different way because she was a teenager.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting experience, and just knowing the crowds the way they were.
I remember that Saturday when she didn't make the cut. Like, it was not crowd wise was fine.
Right.
Media wise, I was like, we got the place to ourselves. And not we have to ourselves, but the media credentials were so amazing that we literally WQAD, that one they put up kind of by our trailer was just ours then, because they kind of left the premises. Go ahead.
I was going to say it was Vicky Brogan and Mary Spranger kind of entertained the Wee family, kind of separate and distinct, because they were like their own little pod.
Yeah.
That was an interesting experience.
Paul Goydos is 59.
Really cool.
Good dude.
But also he was a fiery personality.
Yeah.
And of the 59, I think it was one or two groups later, Strick was coming in and he shoots 60 and could have shot 59.
Yep.
So I was in the clubhouse and came out on the veranda for both of those. So that was really fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I remember we had this guy shot at 59. That's our lead. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, as we're preparing, you're like, well, Strick's having a pretty good. Strick. And how about shooting a 59 and having a one-stroke lead?
Yeah.
Who would have thought round 159 you're
exactly.
a one-stroke lead? It was, and then of course, I don't know how to. Stricker's three-peat. You could look at it in totality, but I look at that and I go, there was at one point where we had our entire show planned on memories and moments to all of a sudden, what in the heck this Kyle Stanley guy is doing. So I guess we'll go to the infamous bunker shot / putt. Where were you at, your perspective that year?
I was in the clubhouse getting guys ready to head to the Open. So that's the one thing that a lot of people don't get. There's plenty of people here at this tournament who never see a lick of golf.
I tell people nowadays
they have assignments.
I see more now the last year and now this year than I did almost and I covered. I did hours and hours of coverage, but I was in a trailer writing scripts and cutting that, that kind of stuff. So I agree. But so you were in the clubhouse for Strick's year.
Yep.
How do you find out?
The last year, I think was it 11? I think it was.
Yeah.
I was actually getting over the jet because we were going to Britain. For the Royal St. George's British Open, And so we had to be over there early, and I helped greet Stricker on the plane coming on. And I remember because the head of the Canadian Golf Association was on the plane, and one of the assignments was to try to get an interview with, or at least her to meet Stricker.
Mm-hmm.
So Stricker comes on, they all give him the applause. He sits down. I go over and I say, hey, before you get situated, can we have you meet the Canadian President of Golf Association? And he said, I'd rather have a Bud Light. I said, well, let's get you a Bud Light, and then let's go back there and say hey.
Priorities.
So, and he did, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was graceful.
20. What year was the biggest crowd spectacle? I have a year from start to finish.
I'm sure it was the Michelle Wee year. And I gotta believe.
I know I don't have any fact to back it up. 2015 stands out for me. When you go Bill Murray to Jordan Spieth and everything that was going on with Jordan.
I was gonna say 15 would probably be the second one.
Yeah.
Because of Jordan coming back.
You remember your memories from that year?
Oh yeah. What I remember more the 13 year because he had won, and I was trying to get him ready to get on the plane, and he wanted to talk to his dad, and I always help the guys understand that they have to tip the locker room guys a little more money if they're the champion than they did before.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I don't have any cash. And he said, can I write a check? I said, sure. He goes, how much can I write a check for? I said, well, about $1.3 million. And he was like, oh, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
He was so done. I tell Pete this story all the time. He came back in 2014 to do Champions Day or Media Day. And we did an interview with him down in the locker room. And so we always did that before he did the press conference. And we had time to kill. I guess we were done early. And it was probably him, his manager, me, and Scott Weiss. And he sat at the table with us down in the locker room for a half hour, 45 minutes. And we just shot it was as enjoyable as a conversation. I remember him saying to us, my biggest fans right now are like teenage girls and like 40-year-old guys. And my photographer, Scott Weiss, who you know very well, was like, that's me! I'm the 40-year-old guys that love you. So just down to earth and fun as can be. Last memory or year, do you remember? You were 08. Was that, and the Kenny Perry one, was that when it was in the fall? Or was that 05?
No, it was 05.
Who won 05?
VJ.
Yeah. Well,
VJ was in the fall. Yeah.
It was a different year.
Well, VJ didn't want to come up and meet the board. He just wanted to take off.
Yeah, that's it.
I always thought that was unfortunate.
Your best memory of your year? I don't want to say your year, but your reign, if you will.
My reign.
Your reign continues.
You know, the year is kind of a blur, but every year you set a record for charity.
Yeah.
And that 08 was when we had kind of a bad economy, and we still made a little more than we did the year before.
Yeah.
But it was like 4.8 million or 4.6 million.
Think about that, though.
It's 4 times more now.
That's
incredible.
That's amazing. I had Wendy Williams on the show on Wednesday, and she sat in that very chair. We talked about what advice would you give the tournament chair?
Just have fun now, because
this week
you've laid the groundwork.
Is the hay in the barn at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're busy still, but like, everyone thinks like, oh, it's golf week, you're probably busy. I mean, it's the work leading up to.
It's different. It's different. There are always different duties, and in each level, as you move up, stuff is more important than other stuff. When you're the operations chair, you're around the grunts the whole time, and that's important. Important for them, important for the work. The year that you're, finance chair, not as much work because we have a full-time finance person now, so it's not the same. But it's still good work. It's still important work. But you kind of your last year, you're in charge. It's more ceremonial now.
Yeah.
So
when we can't glance over Birdies for Charity. At what point did you realize, wow, this structure that we came up with, I don't think you'd ever think 16.9 million or whatever, but what point did you realize what they came up with? Wow. And now, I mean, other tournaments mock or copy what we do. When did you realize we're onto something?
It was probably the year that I was finance chair, and you get to interact with everybody and you understand it. Plus, there's a past chairman's outing at the end of the season in September usually, where all the past chairs are invited. And there you start to see the richness of the tournament and the old guys that had to put up their own money to make sure the tournament continued, and and the charity on top of that was invented by Steve Jacobs, who was our board chair way back when. All those guys laid the groundwork for where we're at today, and hopefully when you're the chair, you're laying a little more groundwork for the Wendy's, because I'm roughly 16, 17 years now since I've been chair.
Can you do it again?
I suppose you could if you really
president or something like that. You can.
I suppose you could, but I don't think anybody's going to do it.
I want Decker 2027.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, they already got next year.
Stay in your lane, jabroni.
Yeah, right. I want to talk to you about the future of the John Deere Classic before I let you get out of here. And this year's great. 2027 we know is going to be amazing. We don't know a lot about 2028.
Right.
I guess, and I think that was the big thing of the announcements over the last couple of weeks was I think more uncertainty than worry, if that makes any sense. There's uncertainty. I don't think anybody got to. Your thoughts, I guess, when it comes to some uncertainty now in the future. I think we sat here last year and we're like, what do you think of and we're like 50 years, it's going to be amazing. And we just don't know right now.
Yeah. And I think isn't that life now? Everything moves so much faster. Change is rapid. I think that, Clair and I talked the other night, and he gave, I think, the best advice that I could hear from anybody, and it's so typical Clair, is we've seen all these changes on the tour over all these years, and it will correct itself. There will be this, they'll try this, and some of it will be successful and some won't, and it's going to correct itself. And if Deere stays as our title sponsor, which all indications are that they will, because this is such a great tournament for the fabric of our community, and it means so much to them, it'll figure itself out. It has, and it will.
It's amazing because there's that old cliche. I tell my kids, control the controllables. We just got to do what we do.
Yeah.
And there's been many times where, oh no, we're in trouble, and we can control what we can do. We can't control anything else. I think that's a really good point to put up. I want to have a little game with you. How are you with winners of the John Deere Classic? If I give you 5 years, can you go 5 for 5?
I might be. I won't go 5 for 5.
Wait, 4 for 5?
I think I might have a chance at 4.
I'll give you some easy ones to start with. No, that's too easy. 2014.
Brian Harmon.
Look at that, 1 for 1. That wasn't that easy of a one. I shouldn't have. I can't give you that one. Actually, VJ was 2003.
3.
Yeah.
Not 4.
So I will 2005. You know him pretty well. You know all these
hang
guys.
on a minute. Jonathan. Was that JP Hayes?
Sean O'Hare.
Oh, I should have known that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but 1 for 2 you're still doing.
04 was Hensby. 05 O'Hare.
2017.
Let me go back now.
That's what I always have to do is this was this year, that year. It's a pretty big name.
Wait, I'm working my way back.
Yeah, you're fine.
Gosh.
Pretty big name.
Man, I'm caught. Would that be? Let's see. Let me look at faces.
First time winner.
Would have been DeChambeau.
Yeah. Bryson DeChambeau, 2 for 3. 2009.
Let's see. That would be Kenny Perry then. Who was Mike's champion?
I love how you go from tournament. You're thinking.
You got to go tournament.
You're thinking
a chairman.
Yeah.
I'm thinking chairs.
That's amazing.
Well, it would have been Strix first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Strix
Strix
first.
3 for 4. I'm gonna test you on the last one. 1999. I believe first year out here.
No, 01 was, 2000 was out here, and that was Michael Clark.
Okay, so
99 would have been the last year at Oakwood.
You get extra credit for Michael Clark though.
Would that have been J.L. Lewis?
I forgot that year. I gotta look. Yeah, J.L. Lewis. Look at you. I want just one more, a couple more, because this is fun for me. I want to go back farther. Can I go back farther?
Yeah.
All right. Let's just 1995.
Ed Fiore was 96.
Yeah.
So
you quit showing off.
Man.
I would probably put him on a Mount Rushmore if I have to do golf in the Quad Cities.
95?
Yeah.
Well, it's either maybe DA.
DA.
Okay.
DA.
Yeah.
Last one. And then
when you said Mount Rushmore.
Because the DA.
There's three threes, I think. DA is 3 times, but not straight. Stricker, and then David Frost, I think.
I was gonna do a David Frost here, and maybe Jordan Spieth. What's your
Yeah.
You passed.
Thank you.
Probably better than you did in high school, isn't it? When it comes to grades,
for sure.
What is your John Deere Classic Mount Rushmore? If you have 4 places, I don't want to say John Deere Classic, Quad City Golf Mount Rushmore. Is that?
Well, you have to make it a little bigger for me, like 4 or 5. So you got to have Dean Beeman, who won the first 2 and became tour commissioner.
Yep.
Right. You got to do that. Then
So
you got to.
You want 6? You want 6?
So then you got to have the 3 guys that have 3 feeds.
Yep. So Strick, Frost,
and DA.
And DA designed this course.
Yep. And then you got to have Zach.
Yeah.
Because of who he is to us. And then you probably have to have Jordan.
Well, yeah. So that's 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does Clair Peterson get on it?
I could see that happening.
That's where you get, like, you could do players, you could do impact.
I thought you were. I
totally understand.
I thought you were doing players.
Yeah. Well,
no.
Plus, Claire, he hates you. Obviously, he didn't even think about you.
That's
but
right.
But you go back to Kim. Think people do this with successful sporting franchises. You go to, Iowa football, Hayden Fry, Kirk Ferentz, Steelers football.
Yeah.
When you look at stability, when you go Kim, Claire, and now Andrew,
and Anthony, and before that, Tony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Tony was around for a couple of years before Kim.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna include the tournament directors,
put them all on.
Yeah.
Not Andrew. Andrew's not there yet.
Yeah, he can't get there.
Who wins this year, and we'll let you go.
Well, I'm torn a little bit, but I think JT is playing really well.
Mm-hmm. What's JT stand for?
Same names as Bobby Jones is. His middle name is Tyree.
Yeah, isn't it James?
I think it's James Tyree.
I think it's James Tyree.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's playing outstanding.
Yeah, and I picked him the year that he won on Thursday morning in the hallway. I said, JT, I feel good about you.
But how many other golfers do you say that to on a Thursday morning?
Not very many.
Okay, just
because I get a feel. I think Ben Griffin's playing really well.
Mm-hmm. You still haven't picked one yet.
No, I haven't picked one yet. I am going to go with JT.
Okay. Why do I think Jordan Spieth wins? Am I just rooting for that 3-time winner?
I would say we all would like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I know he's not. It's not like he comes in here like a train wreck.
No.
No. It's people. I've had too many people saying like, "Oh, Jordan's coming, but he's not playing great." He's not that far off.
Well, and the beauty of the place is it creates the karma that they've felt once or twice before.
Yeah.
And so that's why you've had a couple of multi-winners.
Was his second time? Didn't he basically? He didn't even mulligan on Thursday. He shot like a 71 on.
It was a not a great round.
And then in 3 rounds he won
the
John Deere Classic.
Yeah.
That's how good he was playing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So he would be a great story, and a lot of people here would love that story for sure. Yeah. No doubt about it. But you also have to say to yourself, it may have to come from the house in Geneseo, because there's a bunch of guys in that house.
Last year though wasn't. Was it?
It wasn't.
Okay.
No.
So we broke that.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks.
Always appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
All right, Decker Ploehn. We got more to get to. You watching OTA on a Thursday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities, and not just in the Quad Cities, but out here at Deere Run where play is underway in the 55th John Deere Classic. It is the first round. We'll get to all your leaders and get you updated on what's going on in just a moment, but the course is what a lot of people are talking about. There's actually a big change out on the course, and of course this weather not just affecting the fans, but how does it affect the course itself? We've got the man that knows all those answers. Alex Stuedemann joins us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Thank you for doing this. You are so busy. For you to stop and worry about me, I appreciate it.
Oh, I always enjoy talking with you, Matt.
I guess we got a lot of things to talk about when it comes to the course itself. The weather is on a lot of people's mind, but I want to start out on 4. Yeah. It's a new look. The tree's gone. The box is back a little bit. First off, how did it get done? Because we're out here on media day, and I think Wheezy hit a hole in one from the drop 113 or whatever. But I looked at Wheezy and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, it's coming quick. It looks great. How was the process?
You know, really, this process started 8 years ago when we started to see the tree decline. It wasn't just, oh, there's one dead branch, we need to cut it down, and it's time to start a new golf hole. We watched it because that's an iconic tree. Yeah. That's a heritage oak, middle of the fairway. It was part of D.A. Wabering's design. And we kept watching it, and eventually that canopy got smaller and smaller. And we certainly didn't want to leave Charlie Brown's Christmas tree out there. So finally here after the first of the year, we had an arborist look at it, and it was given the unfortunate death sentence. And so then it became a matter of what do we need to do? Yeah. And it was an opportunity for us from the PGA Tour standpoint to make the hole more competitive. Yeah. It was one of the easiest holes on the golf course for the players, and I'm sure they loved it.
Hey, I birdied it one time out here, and that shows how easy it was. So
I would probably have birdied it had I played the short par 3. But in any instance of a long drive, I'm not your man.
Yeah.
And so we brought in our PGA Tour designer, Milan Moore, and she looked at it and said, well, we've got all this real estate back. It had been a long-standing request to make the hole longer. And what we've resulted in with 3 new bunkers and a very tight landing zone. And with these winds we've had the last couple of days, these guys have been hitting drives into the wind.
Oh, wow.
So it's added a new element, and we're really excited to see what that strategy brings. and to kind of give a new identity to the fourth hole.
You look at it and you mentioned, I felt like you maybe had a funeral for the tree. I mean, it was an iconic symbol. Zach mentioned that the other day at the press conference, making it a more difficult hole. What are your thoughts? I mean, I've had some people say maybe a half stroke around. So that's 2 strokes maybe on your weekend. How much does it go from? I think Andrew Lehman mentioned maybe you look at 9 is 4 in that. You're shaking your head. It's difficult.
Yeah, it's a very difficult golf hole. And you look at the front 9 right now, and hole number 2 right out behind us here, that's a gettable par 5.
Yeah.
Guys are going to go there to score. Number 3, you would just want to get through number 3. And now here before they'd get off 3 and go, 4. I can hit a big old drive, hit a short wedge into the green, and away we go. Start moving up the leaderboard. Now it's gonna provoke some thought.
Yeah.
Especially with the weather and that distance. I mean, you've got 320 to the landing zone now off of that new back tee, and then there's some length options back there for our setup team.
We mentioned, and you kind of was there worry? I mean, we had some interesting weather. We had 10 inches of rain in June. What was it getting it done? Did that help hurt? Like, take me through the roller coaster ride that it always is.
It was high blood pressure, Matt. I mean, we ran into weather early on. We couldn't start the project until the middle of April.
Yeah.
And we had set a deadline of sodding of May 15th. Well, about May 12th is when the forecast changed. We had been dry, the shaping was going well, and we looked at that grassing date, and then we saw 8 days of rain in the forecast. And so we started thinking, okay, what are we going to do? Well, the sod farms were all east of here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we actually, Jonathan Graham and myself, and then Milan, our architect, we were brainstorming on 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon in May, going, okay, what do we need to do? And so we rented swamp coolers, those portable air conditioning units, and 2 sections of Jonathan's facility we turned into refrigerators. And we ordered all the sod that we needed.
Wow.
And put it in there and kept it at 50 degrees. Because those sod rolls, if they're just sitting outside, will start to cook themselves.
Yeah.
And so then as these rains came through, we put all of our blowers, our portable fans, Short Hills, one of my former assistants, Andy's the superintendent out there, he loaned us a fan, and we basically dried out sections of the golf hole, prepped them, sodded them, and moved into another section.
Wow.
So about 42 days ago, we wrapped up sodding.
And that's when your blood pressure went back down?
Oh, no. No, my blood pressure...
When did you feel good about it?
I'll feel good about Sunday. Because we've got this weather, and it's 40-day-old sod, and we're babying it, but it's still that thing going, it hasn't seen any traffic.
No.
It's just been out there living the good life, because we did not reopen the holes of par 4 until Monday.
Yeah.
So,
have you gotten any feedback from? I mean, obviously the Pro-Am was yesterday. Players that were out there on any feedback. I've heard like how it looks visually and the thought of it being more difficult. Has it held up?
Absolutely. It has stress like the rest of the golf course does.
And us.
And us.
Right.
Yeah, we're all a little haggard. But it's holding up well. We're giving it some extra treatment overnight. And keeping it going through this spell, but the feedback thus far has been very positive.
Yeah.
We'll see now that they're playing for a paycheck. I'm sure those that make it through there very easily are going to love it, and those that don't may have another opinion.
Yeah.
But that's what golf is all about. It's about a different identity each hole and having the strategy to play it.
Yeah, results are going to make a big difference. Alex Stuedemann joining us right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. The course in general, we know the heat has been the story this week, but you mentioned we've had a ton of rain. How is the course right now? What are you guys guarding against? Obviously, this week, I mean, it's just been hot green-wise. How do you guys approach the heat when it comes to the John Deere Classic this week?
Really what we're doing is we're trying to think ahead to that 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. When it's the hottest out here, the wind is blowing, how is the turf reacting? We do not want to diminish tournament conditioning for our players. We want it still to be consistent. We aim for firm and fast. But what that takes is very precise management. We're looking at every square foot of those greens and watering only by hose. And so what we've been doing through the heat is we're out in the morning, and then we're going out midday during play and checking them. We did that through the Pro-Am, and then today we're actually going to go out between the morning and afternoon waves and just give them a look. We may not do anything, or we may just give them a light fog, similar to what you may have seen at the U.S. Open.
Okay, yeah.
Just to kind of cool off the plant and get through the afternoon. It's really like running a race. You got to get that water break midway through, or here in the World Cup, the hydration break.
Yeah.
We're not giving it a full hydration, but we're giving it just a little something to carry on through the afternoon. But also what really helped us was the rain and the cool weather last week. It helped build a little resilience in that plant. But then what we're also doing is we're using a new technology to actually moisture map all the fairways.
Explain that.
So it uses an L-band microwave technology. We have 2 sensors mounted to a gator, and the guy just drives the fairways. And it creates a heat map for us. And then we can look at areas and see how they're declining in moisture content and just water those areas.
It's amazing.
So we've got uniform moisture on greens, uniform moisture on fairways, firm and fast. And then obviously we've done our best to make a very boisterous rough grass out there.
Yeah.
So it's thickening up. If we get a little of this rain, it could be rather joyous here come Sunday.
Wheezy, he's so much smarter than we are. Like, it's just amazing. It's amazing. It is amazing. So is the weather and the course? People always look. Will they score low early? Will the afternoon be tough, more difficult? How will it look? Or will it be equal, the same? Talk about how the course will play for these guys.
I think it'll play very consistently morning till afternoon. That's been our goal with some of our practices, and it's also a testament to our setup officials. You know, Steve Rentoul, our chief referee, and Jason Larson and Jose Garrido on either side setting up the hole locations and the distances. They look at these weather patterns and they look at the difficulty of the golf holes each day and adjust that setup along with our agronomic inputs to really make it a strong competition for these players.
Yeah. You mentioned the lushness of this course, and we played it on media day, and I'm not a good golfer. I'm not going to pretend to be one, but I feel like the roughs are rougher, if that makes any sense. You mentioned a little bit. Talk to that, how the course is playing, and that's not by accident by any stretch.
It's all part of the plan. You know, it's a little bit of a challenge for those daily fee golfers that are playing through the month of May and into June, because we start to bring that rough up.
Yeah.
But Deere Run still remains pretty generous in fairway acreage.
Yeah.
So we want to, for those slightly offline shots, we want to add a little penalty to it. And I think also just from we're outcome-based workers in agronomy.
Yeah.
We love to see the fruits of our labor, and to have that dark, thick, green, lush rough framing those lighter green, tight fairways it's beautiful architecture as well.
Yeah, those slightly off the fairway. You put it so nicely. My shank shot is what I call that, Alex. You look at it, and you've been obviously a different role now with the PGA Tour, and I kind of want to talk about that. Explain to people your role, and obviously you're not here anymore 24/7, but you were for so many years. Explain what your role is with the PGA Tour right now.
So what I do now is I oversee agronomic operations for all 14 of our owned and operated TPC clubs across the country. So from as far west as Phoenix, Las Vegas, all the way back east into Maryland, Boston, Connecticut, all the way down south to Sawgrass, Louisiana, San Antonio. So we're looking at different agronomic environments, but also operationally, staffing the projects like the 4th hole here at Deere Run, and developing that consistency of our brand and the success of our teams, and our partnerships. Obviously John Deere, and all of our equipment fleet. So it's a little less of the agronomy. I really enjoy mowing my lawn at home right now. It's the greatest escape from some of the administrative duties. But it also has given me the opportunity to work with 14 great directors of golf course maintenance. And that's been the best part of it.
I got to ask you, are you that neighbor that just annoys everybody because your lawn looks amazing?
Well, I've also got the downside, Matt, that there's a couple of former employees of Deere Run that live in my neighborhood, along with a couple of members.
Okay.
So, and I live right on a corner.
All right.
Right down the main drag of the development. So I've got nothing to hide.
Yep.
I mean, a couple years ago, I was working a tournament in Des Moines, and before I left, I was getting rid of this steep hillside, and I killed it. I sprayed it with herbicide, and I killed it. My wife had a knock on the door. What's Alex doing to the yard? I got no secrets. So I gotta keep it up good.
Yeah.
What gets my wife riled up is when people compliment me on how good the flowers look.
Because that's her.
That's her.
All right, we're on record here. It's your wife that does the hard stuff, the pretty stuff.
Exactly. I take care of the grass. Everything else around the house is her.
Yeah.
I know my bread and butter, and it's grass.
Before we let you go, and I think I maybe asked you this last year, but you just mentioned you got 14 courses that you oversee. Is this the favorite child still? Is this
absolutely?
And kind of talk. I mean, you've watched this place grow up. How special is this place? I know all 14 kids are important. I love all my kids. Blah blah blah. But this one's probably extra special.
And it's obviously, I still live 8 miles down the road, and I've over the course of 24 years, I've known this property. But I think all these discussions that people have had over the last few weeks about the new PGA Tour and all that. To me, this is what embodies the PGA Tour, the John Deere Classic. You have a great partner. You have a great host organization in Andrew and their team. And you have TPC Deere Run. And then you have this community. That combination, $17 million to local charity.
It's wild. You
don't have that ideal mix that exists here at Deere Run. And all the people that take weeks off of work to come out and put their time into this. I don't know how many professional golf tournaments I've worked, and they've all been great, but there's nothing like the feel of here.
There's nothing like you, my man. Appreciate you as always.
Absolutely.
Have a good week. Hopefully, I say this when I was with WQAD all the time. I hope we don't talk to you at all the rest of the week because that means things are going good. So appreciate everything you do.
Thanks Matt.
All right. That is Alex Stuedemann. We got a lot more to get to. You're watching OTA out here at the JDC. We'll be right back.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, stripes, summer tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
Of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off There with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Not just your normal Thursday It's also Thursday and round 1 of the John Deere Classic. We are live from the Stonehouse out here at Deere Run, just off the second green. Great crowds out here as play is underway. We'll update you on a leaderboard before we get out of here for today. Leading right now at 7 under par, a pair of golfers tied for first place. Lee Hodges at 7 under par, and then former JDC champion Lucas Glover also at 7 under par. An amateur out there playing well, a sponsor exemption, Preston Stout is at 6 under par. Some of the bigger names that got off this morning, a huge gallery came through 2 to 3 a little bit ago. Playing together is Ben Griffin and Jordan Spieth. They are both stuck in neutral. Spieth is actually now 1 under par. Ben Griffin quadruple bogeyed 14, I believe. He was 4 over at one point. He's back to even on the day, so he's playing better now, but both of those big names, probably a little work to do the rest of this morning and into tomorrow in order to make the cut and be around for the weekend here at the John Deere Classic. So I will give you guys a heads up when it comes to if you're coming out onto the course this afternoon. All eyes will be on the first tee around 12:23. Tony Finau, Sanjay M, and Andrew Novak all three go off then. Following them right after that, a really good group at 12:34. Ricky Fowler, Keith Mitchell, and Zach Johnson will tee off at that point. Right after them, Chris Gotterup, Keegan Bradley, and Tom Kim as well. So some great groups to come this afternoon. Lots of golf to be played here at the John Deere Classic. As our good friend Zach Johnson would always say, you can't win a tournament on a Thursday. You sure can lose a tournament on a Thursday, but obviously things are great out here at the course. We want to thank everyone who stopped by and was part of this show. Obviously, when you get a legend like Clair Peterson to stop by his old office, a lot of fun. So Clair Peterson, Decker Ploehn is gold. If you missed that, go back and check that out as well. And Alex Stuedemann, some really interesting stuff when it comes to how this course has grown, how the golf course is getting older, obviously a new look on 4. So really good stuff. If you missed it, go back and check it out. We want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank my executive producer, Scott Weiss. And most importantly, I want to thank our sponsors for allowing me to do this goofy little show each and every day. We'll be back here live once again tomorrow at TPC Deere Run for Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Enjoy the John Deere Classic. Get out here, enjoy it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.